What are the general things that people can do to increase their health? Like what additional things can you do to increase your health? I believe the red light means we are live. Hi, it is Dr. Ben coming to you live from the Netherlands. Actually, I'm coming to you live from the ironclad castle here in Van Rijn, Netherlands. As we do every Wednesday, I am excited to answer some of the questions that we've received this week from you all. What we're going to be addressing today is Len's question, Len Costa. He had a question that was really specific about like what additional things can you do to increase your health? And this is kind of backed up a little bit by what Carolyn said. And Carolyn's question is a little bit different. So, by the way, if you send a question and you don't want me to use your name or anything, like, just let me know. I'm really sensitive to people's like privacy, so I won't use last names other than when people say that that's cool. It's just how I'm trained as a doctor. We want to respect people's privacy. But what we really want to talk to you about specifically, let's take a step back, and we're going to talk about today just general overall health. A lot of times we get this with members of Ironclad that come in. We get this with people that we start off with working. Really, one of the number one specific things that we see all the time is people like they want to work on one specific thing. Like somebody will come in like, hey, I just want to lose weight. Or other people are like, I want to increase my energy. Or other people want to boost their immunity. And these are all really, really good specific things to want to work on. One of the really interesting things that people may or may not realize is most of these things are all tied together in one thing. It's sort of like saying, let's say your bank account's low and you don't have a lot of money in your bank account. And you'll be like, well, the only thing I need to get my bank account is to get a raise at work. Well, there's a lot of other ways to increase you can look at your spending, you can increase your money, you can increase investing, there's a number of ways to reduce the amount of money that's coming out of your account and then increase the amount of money, that's going in. So there's multiple ways, and health's a very similar thing like that. So although it works in very, very, very kind of different ways. Every system in your body works interchangeably. This is called physiology. It's this idea that everything kind of links together and clicks together, and they all kind of function together. When we talk at the end of the session today, we're going to talk about diabetes. That's a perfect example of this. We'll get more into this in depth. But just what are the general things that people can do to increase their health? Really, it boils down to a couple specific things. Number one of the most important things that you can do to increase your health is naturally to make sure that you're getting enough rest. The body has the nervous system is divided into two sort of phases. Phase one of the nervous system is what we really, really call the sympathetic phase, the sympathetic system, nervous system. The sympathetic system is basically your kind of fight or flight system. Blood goes to your brain, it goes to your hands, your arms, your legs. It kind of goes out from around your organs to the outer parts of your body. Why? So we can think fast, so we can move fast, so we can fight off things if we need to. It's kind of fight or flight. That's the sympathetic system, is where a lot of people kind of get stuck in. But it's important to have balance because you have another system where the blood literally goes internally in your organs. It goes inside your body. What's the difference? Yeah, that's the system that you use when you sleep. It's a system when you have a huge meal, right? You kind of get tired, lethargic, right? You lay down. Think over after having Thanksgiving dinner or after Christmas dinner or having a nice big meal. Generally, people kind of want to chill out and relax. The idea is that the blood literally has gone from our brains to the internal part of our organs. It's around our gastrointestinal tract. And what it's doing is it's helping our body digest the foods and the things that we've had. So the body has to switch between these two systems. If you stay all in one system, if you're out of balance, if you're all in the sympathetic system, you're not going to be healthy. You're going to really deal with a lot of you can't calm yourself down. You can't really kind of get into a resting, healing things. These people generally struggle with, they can't put weight on, right? The other group of people generally have to deal with, and there's exceptions to this, for example, people who are under tremendous amounts of stress. But the other group of people are really kind of stuck in parasympathetic. They kind of stay down. They gain weight really easily. They can't lose weight. They're kind of lethargic. Maybe they deal with depression. So there's specific kinds of meditations and mindset work and things that you can do to push yourself from one to the other. There are also cross things, like for example, people who are highly stressed and overweight. Well, how can that happen? Because there are hormones when we're in that sympathetic state where we're kind of already going. There's hormones that try to protect us from that. Like cortisol is one of those, and that increases like abdominal fat, deep visceral fat around your belly. So really that kind of fat is really unhealthy because it's like it really is the body's way to try to mitigate or deal with all this stress that it has, but it doesn't really effectively deal with that. The end result is you don't feel very well and you aren't doing very well. So that's one thing that we'll deal with, the cortisol system. So it isn't as simple as, well, okay, if you're stressed all the time, just relax. Or it's not that simple. If health were that simple and it were that easy, everybody would be healthy. Aside from all this, let's say you get your mindset right and you're doing the right things. You know, you're moving enough, you're thinking in the right ways, you're doing those types of things. By the way, in Ironclad, we don't address exercise at all. It's one of those things that we do that's really important. Thanks for your input, Kai. I love it. It is one of those things that when we're really trying to work with people and we're help with people in Ironclad, we don't cover exercise. Exercise is amazing and awesome. But we don't deal with that, and the reason that we don't specifically deal with that is it's kind of like a boost for people. And I did an experiment in our last Ironclad group where I didn't work out at all, and I like to work out. I didn't do it at all, and I achieved the goal that I had set out for myself without setting one foot in the gym. And the reason that I wanted to do that, and it was experimenting, and it was also to prove for myself that really what most people need is to deal with the way they think, because the way they think literally becomes their body, right? So health has an origin in how we think, and you have to make the right decisions in this moment today that's going to have a repercussions, a ripple effect out for your future. Like, what do I mean specifically by that? Your body is literally composed of your thoughts. Not directly, but indirectly. What do I mean? Every single thing you put in your mouth, yeah? Every single drink that we take, every single piece of food we eat begins with a thought. Maybe the exception of like a baby or something, but I don't think there's probably that many little babies watching this. You know, infants, children, I mean, that's maybe an exception where we're getting food given to us from our parents. But the vast majority of us, we have a craving for something and we go for it. We're thinking ahead of time about what we're going to eat. Or it's just, I'm hungry now, I'm going to order something. Or I go past something. Or the marketing forces in society today, they reach out to us, they grab us, they latch us in, and they get us. And then we make decisions based on that. I mean, it was interesting. Was watching American football. Not, as an American, I live in Europe, but I can watch football online. It's always interesting to me to watch American commercials. It's the constant messaging that comes from media and marketing companies of, you know, I don't know, I think there were 40 or 50 times I saw in this one football game that on the commercials that they were biting into burgers and all these other beer and all this other sort of stuff. And it's really these really interesting images, this constant sort of messaging and all that stuff. And most people don't realize this. We talk about this a lot of time in the Gauntlet, that the average Joe is really kind of screwed. There are so many forces at play, marketing forces that know food psychology. They've got a lot of the pharmacology. You know, it's almost as if you're born, you're immediately under the influence of these marketing forces that teach you, you know, what cereal to eat and all these other types of things, and the stuff that isn't even food. I mean, it's not even really edible, and it won't even degrade, right? It's as far from natural food as you can get, and this causes a lot of people to be unhealthy and sick, and then they want to give you pharmaceutical medications. Yeah, the commercials. That they want to give you pharmaceutical medications that are the solution for that. So, and I'm not saying that it's a terrible thing, or you know, there are a lot of things that we realize and that we learn in the Ironclad program that kind of makes us aware of these types of things. But I think we all know that. I don't think most people know the depth and to the extent as to which they're under the influence of all these companies that basically have one goal, and their only goal is to sell products, to sell the most addictive and the most really unhealthy things for people. And then the other end of this, a different branch of the same sort of company, ends up giving you the pharmaceutical medications that help treat the problems that they've caused. So what's the solution to really, really getting healthy? What are the tips? It really boils down to, you have to have the right support and the right awareness of what's going on. So the Ironclad program is a great way to do that. Some people, now if you're like curious, like, well, is this a good thing for me? You need to get on a call with me, because what we're able to do in that is maybe give you direct tips about your situation. Everybody's different, right? So we have to talk to you and get to know your personal situation, like what you're dealing with, struggling with. On that call, we give people really good advice as what they can do. So without knowing specifically what you want to do, we can go into it a little bit further on a call. You did mention, Len, about diabetes, and I said to get to that. I've been blessed in my life to help people with diabetes. Every single Ironclad warrior that was diabetic when they started is not when they're done. They've totally reversed their diabetes. And we're able to do that. How do we do that? With the process of what we teach in Ironclad. It's a really, really specific, tailored, focused program. It's not specifically for diabetics, but it's amazing, and it works with diabetics, because the same thing that people struggle with, that everybody seems to struggle with help diabetics struggle with that even to a greater degree. In fact, most people are probably in today's society, if they just eat the standard Western diet, will end up diabetic. A lot of people are aware of that. A lot of people understand that. The question is, well, how do you reverse this? Well, we go into specifics, very, very specific things about that in Ironclad. How you deal with that directly. It goes back to what I was just saying. Awareness of what you're consuming, and a really strong understanding about how to transform and change that. This is something that, if I wanted to go back a little bit and talk about like where Ironclad came from, it came from specifically this idea of that our bodies are designed to heal. They're designed to live the way that they're designed to function well. And I had all this information about that as a doctor. I knew from physiology how it works and all this stuff. Yet I couldn't seem to get my body to live and to function the way I wanted it to, because the choices that I was making in my mind. So we really work with the mind a lot in Ironclad Immunity. And it's really the key to long-lasting transformation. It is really, really an amazing thing to understand, to transform, to set out a goal like, I want to be this person. I want to, whatever your desired weight is, whatever your desired blood glucose is, whatever those things are, and then to have a specific plan that's made that works directly for you and transforms you into that person. People are really eternally grateful. And it's one of the reasons why most of the Ironclad warriors come via other Ironclad warriors, because people see the changes that go on in them. We're like, what are you doing? I want to do this. So that's one of the reasons that we have this group as well, because we don't want to just have this be available to Ironclad warriors who've already done it. We want all you guys to have a chance to be able to do it if you're inclined and you so want to. And the folks that aren't, that's cool too. You can always hop on a call with me. We can check it out, and I can give you individual advice on that call, like I did with Jordy, about what his situation is and what he can do right now to get started, and some tips and tricks and all that kind of stuff. So general ideas about health. Make sure that you're in both systems. Make sure you're not all stuck in parasympathetic. You're not too lethargic. Make sure you have to be in balance. Make sure you're not stuck in sympathetic as well. That's where most people are stuck generally. And then what they do is, because they deal with the stress, they have high cortisol, and they end up with weight gain as a result of that. Or, and this is another truth, nobody gains weight just from eating food. It has to do with the kinds of food that they're eating, right? Things with sugar in it is the only way that you can gain weight. Things with sugar in it, or things that break down into sugar, is the only way you can get diabetes. It comes from the foods that you're consuming, and that always starts with the thought. So you have to have the right information. You have to know exactly what the right plan is. What is the optimal diet of a human being? That's really important, that you have a clear sense of what that is. And then you have to go through a plan and a process to get you to where you need to go. And there's really no other way to do that I've found. Most diets, people say this all the time, the diets don't work, they fail, they aren't getting where you need to go. Now, moving on a little bit to Carolyn's question, there are hormonal things like cortisol, for example. There are hormonal things that make things more difficult. We've heard, for example, that some people, oh, I can't lose weight because it's my age, or I can't lose weight for, I don't know, whatever reason. Every single person, and we get this a lot, people that tried every diet, all kinds of stuff. I won't go into the specifics of one Ironclad warrior, but she really, like, was really, really, really in bad shape, and she tried every single diet and nothing works. And years later now, she's maintaining her weight. She looks awesome, and she knows exactly what she needs to do, and is loving her life as a result of the changes that she made. And she was postmenopausal. So menopause is not a reason or an excuse to deal with the issues that you're dealing with. It's really, the problem is going back to everything, not having the right information, being confused by a confusing society that tries to keep us locked into the diseases and the problems that we have. So that's really the specific thing. It's not a give and take, a guarantee. That we have lots of Ironclad warriors that, in fact, when it comes to weight gain, we've had several Ironclad warriors that lost so much weight, they're like, dude, this is enough. I want to, I want to gain, I want to gain weight. And some people do, right? Some people get stuck into a cycle where they can't put weight on, and then they need to have a program to work on that too. So it's about health. Well, I hope that's been beneficial. I hope that you guys love this. It is really my pleasure to do this, to answer calls for you guys. If you guys have any questions, reach out to us, let us know. So hop on a call, join us like Jordy, like some of you other have. It's been really wonderful to get on calls with you guys and get you guys started. So I love you all very much. Really, we're with you in health. We're here for you. You have any questions, reach out. Keep your questions coming in. We'll have lots of stuff to answer and share with you guys. And yeah, I'm yours. We're yours. We're here with you in health. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.